as the Renaissance started to mushroom out across Europe, it eventually tripped over the English Channel into the relatively backwards nation of England. Kind of a remote spot, and ripe through a lot of social and political activity, rife for development. One of the earliest members of the so-called English Renaissance was a guy named Wyatt, Sir Thomas Wyatt. Aristocrat, courtier to King Henry VIII. Supposedly he worked as a diplomat and was on the original mission to the Vatican so that Henry VIII can ask for an annulment of his marriage to his first wife so that she could, yes, the musical Six, so that she could, or he could go and marry somebody else who might give him a boy to pass on his throne to. And it was that failed mission that was the first step in the process that led to England breaking away from the Catholic Church and instituting its own church with the king at the head instead of the Pope. So, you know, the guy had an interesting life. By traveling widely as a diplomat, he was exposed to an awful lot of what was going on over in continental Europe, and he came to see and be exposed to a lot of the Renaissance activities, literary and otherwise, that were going on there. And he took a particular fondness to Petrarch. He translated a number of Petrarch's works over the course of several years, and took to writing similar works in English, in his own language, his own composition, using the Petrarchan model, but bringing out his own character to it. His own character being English, notably. This is a relatively, well, he published them all at the same time. We really don't know when. But this is an interesting, I think, example of Petrarchan inspiration transfused into an English idiom. Farewell, love, and all thy laws forever. Thy baited hooks shall dangle me no more. Seneca and Plato call me from thy love to perfect wealth, my wit for to endeavor. In blind error, when I did persever, thy sharp repulse, that pricketh eye so sore, hath taught me to set in trifles no store, and scape forth, since liberty is lever. Therefore, farewell! Go, trouble younger hearts, and in me claim no more authority. With idle youth go use thy property, and thereon spend thy many brittle darts for hitherto, though I have lost all my time, me lusteth no longer rotten boughs to climb. It is a sonnet. Look at forever, A, more, B, lore, B, endeavor, A, persever, A, sore, B, store, B, lever, A, hearts, C. Notice we have gone through two 2 sets of 4. We are now into this. Authority and authority and property are essentially rhyming. So that is D. D. Darts rhymes with hearts, so we're back at C. Time, climb. Anything else before? No. So that would be E. E. Very exacting rhyme scheme. Now, a couple other things. Formally, again, it's hard to really compare unless we're really listening to Petrarch and the other Petrarchans in their original languages. But this is a little bit jumpier. This is a little bit coarser in meter. The iambic flow, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, of the earlier poems, of the Romance language poems, is much more regular. Here, it's a little bit coarse. It's a little jumpy. Thy baited hook shall dangle me no more is nice and smooth. To perfect wealth my wit for to endeavor, little bit jumpier, little bit bumpier. In blind error when I did persever, again choppier again. And skate forth, since liberty is lever. We're really starting to break down that rhythm. We're really starting to hit some awkward fits. This is England, though. It is a coarser place, certainly. Italy, France, and Spain were the height of Western Europe. They were the height of sophistication for their time. Their language, Latin-based, very flowing. English does not have that, especially not at this stage. English is much coarser. It is much more derived from German in its Anglo-Saxon heritage. So that rougher, more blunt force sound is here. He is taking an Italian model and squeezing it into a coarser English idiom. But you have in content largely the same thing. He is complaining to the idea of love. Farewell, love, and all thy laws forever. It could be addressing a woman whom he regards as his love, or it could be love in general. Love, kick my butt, is what he's saying. Thy baited hooks shall tangle me no more. Baited hooks. When somebody has baited a hook, that's deception. You think it's just a little, a yummy worm. But then you bite in and there's a hook there. That's sneaky. That's even cruel. So, he is casting himself as the victim again. In blind error when I did persever. In blind error. I was helpless. I can't be blamed. Love overwhelmed me. I didn't know what I was doing. Always the victim. And thereon spend thy many brittle darts, almost like arrows of Cupid, classical reference. For hitherto, though I have lost all my time, me lusteth no longer rotten boughs to climb. So that is a renunciation of love. Rotten boughs to climb. climbing up a tree. A bough is a branch on a tree. Climbing up, what could that be? Well, to go up, what is up? God. To climb is God. He is, in a way, renouncing a kind of spiritual elevation. But he's also saying that, well, no, I'm going to turn away from the physical and focus on the elevation. It's very complicated. You don't really know what he's saying. It can be argued a number of different ways. But he is clearly pitching himself as something, or as someone who has learned. With idle youth, go use thy property. With idle youth. Go pick on someone younger than me who doesn't know better by now. I know better. And this is a key distinction in the English Renaissance. Critics have noted that in the Petrarchan model of Italy, it's all about being in love. I'm in love! The English model, like Sir Thomas Wyatt here, the English model is about people who have been in love. Think about that difference. When you are in love, you're just floating on a cloud. To have been in love, past tense, means that you tried standing on that cloud and plummeted and crashed into earth. That focus on wisdom, that focus on learning, on reason, on the mind, is a key element of the English Renaissance. They will sweep you away with the lovely images and words and poetry and beauty and love with a capital L. But there's always that cold, rational thought behind it. That awareness that, okay, this is dangerous. So while the Italian model is a little bit more excitable, a little bit more impulsive, a little bit more infatuated, a little bit more romantic, the English, a more reserved people in general, I think we can say that, broadly speaking, the English are a little bit more cold. The English model is a little bit more clear-eyed, let's say. And that's what Wyatt imports from foreign shores.